Well, Amol, you said don't hide behind the podium. I always hide behind the podium, so I'm going to hide here. Good morning, the teachers, students. I think Manjul, you're doing a great job. I mean, I'm hearing you for the first time, and it's so inspiring to be among young people doing young things and such motivational programs. I think for us, it's something to learn for my generation. Anyway, you know, my friends, investors in other sectors, they are very jealous of tourism. Basically because tourism only holds 4%, less than 4% of the GDP of the Nepalese economy. But then when politicians to anybody speaks on Nepal, they say hydro, agriculture and tourism. So these friends of mine tell me, how come you guys are so clever in making yourselves so important, in spite of just being less than 4% of GDP? Well, you see, it's because tourism touches the grassroots level. Unlike other businesses, where money goes from the customer to the investor, and maybe it goes to the government, but it doesn't percolate to the grassroots level. Because when tourists come, they spend money in the city centers, to the most rural areas, where even you and I as Nepalese don't go. So that presence of tourism is felt so much in the grassroots level, that tourism has become very dear to the hearts of every Nepali. And tourism is also, because tourism doesn't really require a lot of money actually. You know why? If you really analyze Nepalese tourism, it's all about selling crazy ideas. Just think about it. People pay to walk. What is trekking? It is about walking, but you pay $50, $60, $100 a day to walk. People pay to jump, bungee jumping. You know, you actually pay to jump. So, tourism is all about crazy things. And I think one is crazy when one is young. You are full of joes, भन्छ नि. तर अलिअलि ढल्केर आएपछि बढ्ता जोसको सट्टा होस भएर आउँछ. र होस बढी भएपछि एन्टरप्रेन्योरशिप पनि लो भएर जान्छ. So whenever I'm asked to come to speak to young people, I always take that chance. And especially KCM, because I had such a wonderful experience of working with your first batch. Hello, Vishnu sir, where are you? Yes, I think we were the ones, no, not we, you were the ones, your first batch was the one who drafted the NRN Memorandum of Understanding and the Article of Association. So if today's NRN movement has reached the height, that draft of the constitution of the NRNs were prepared by your first batch. And that is why I always feel so proud and happy, because I have full faith on KCM students, because they do such wonderful jobs. So that is why I just had a phone call, I think Snake called me or someone from, I said yes, I will come. Because I have so much of faith in KCM, today I'm not going to do the presentation. And I asked for volunteers to help me to make a presentation, and I was so glad 3 of your students came and volunteered. Because one of the things about present young people, they have lost a bit of a sense of volunteering. You know, during our days we used to always volunteer. Because I remember GAA is a volunteering association, but young people somehow have so much to do, if not at least their, you know, their iPhone. Volunteering has become so extinct. But then 3 of your students came and they said, yes sir, we will volunteer. So we had, you know, I had these 3 people come, and well, one was Barsa Shrestha. When she came in, I thought she was very analytical, wanted to know good, bad, ugly side of life. So I said, all right Barsa, you will do the SWOT of tourism. So Barsa is going to present you the SWOT of tourism. Then I saw a young boy coming in a motorcycle. I was in Ambassador Hotel and he came in his funky motorcycle, with fuzzy hair and a little bit of a pokadari. So I thought this was a crazy boy. So I said, all right, tourism is all about crazy things. So you will present all the crazy things that you think of tourism and try and lure your fellow students to take up tourism, because we need a lot of manpower in tourism. So he's going to present to you and try to convince you to be a part of tourism by taking tourism as a career. And then we have Nurpur Bansal. I think I found her always trying to be very suggestive. Alikati Arti, the suggestion didn't have just like. So I said, all right, therefore, you will try and convince those who do not want to take tourism as a career to be a part of tourism in your own fields, because tourism is not just about those who are involved. Even if you are in the streets, you can have tourism. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my team of your own students of ACM who will do the presentation.
I'm Gorsha Shrestha. I'm from Kathmandu College of Management. I'm here to talk about the good and bad sides of tourism. In short, I'm here to present a small SWOT analysis on tourism in Nepal. First of all, I would like to thank Yogendra sir for giving me this big opportunity. Now, starting with the strengths of tourism, here we go. The first we have is our rich culture. Our country Nepal is blessed with cultural heritages. Tourism has a very great potential in our country. We need to promote this even more. This is one of our strengths. Our the culture of Nepal includes our ethnicity, our language, our food, and everything. The next we have is our World Heritage Site. The World Heritage Site list consists of altogether 830 heritages, along with the natural and the cultural ones. Among all these, we have the 10 sites from our Nepal itself. This can be taken as a great point of strength for attracting the tourists. We have the ultimate adventure destinations as well. Nepal is quite famous for the adventurous sports like rafting, paragliding, bungee jumping, and we need to market all these adventurous sports and attract the tourists. Here comes the value of money. Tourists visiting Nepal find it quite cheap because of the currency exchange rate. They find it very interesting because they can enjoy more and pay less. This is also one of our strengths. And now moving on to the weaknesses. First of all, we have the insufficient infrastructures. We all know that the transportation and the communication infrastructure is not very sufficient in most of the rural areas of our country. Also, we do have only one airport till date. The performance of the national carriers is also not very satisfactory. We need to work on this along with the government to change it into a strength. The another one we have is low maintenance and renovation. We all know about the April 25th earthquake. It caused a lot of damage and chaos in our life. But still we have not been able to overcome this in a complete manner. We need to work on this as well. Here are the opportunities of tourism. First of all, we have the growing demand for adventure tourism. There is a craze of rafting, paragliding, and all such adventurous activities in our country. We need to advertise and promote these things. The second one is Airbnb, the homestay. Here, the local people of our country they provide the opportunities for the tourists for homestay in much lower cost than the hotels usually do. This is quite a good thing because this shows the hospitality of the local people, and the tourists enjoy the homely environment as well. We need to add new tourism projects like health and wellness projects, agricultural tourism project, food tourism, and many more. The tourism industry also helps to encourage the local industries like the industry of handicraft, agriculture, etc. When tourists come, they buy different handicrafts, and this promotes the local industries in our country. Here comes the foreign exchange. Import is usually greater than export in our country, and this results in the trade deficit. When the tourism industry gets a boom in the future, this trade deficit can be converted to surplus with the help of tourism industry. Now here comes the threats. The first one is the political instability. The political state in our country is not very stable. The frequent strikes and bundles and the violent activities have a negative impact on tourism. This discourages the tourists as it also makes a halt in the transportation facilities. Also, we do have very tough competition from the countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, Sri Lanka and Maldives. They do much better than us in the field of tourism. We need to be able to compete with these countries and promote tourism and convert all the weaknesses and threats into strengths and opportunities. Now, for further presentation, I would like to call upon Sushant Karhi. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sushant, and I'm here to talk about why you should make a career in tourism. Well, first of all, I would like to start with a comparison. Look at this. Dubai, 1989. There was nothing, desert and a few buildings. These people were placed on a terrible, terrible situation by nature. But the same nature gifted them with something very precious. And they made use of that gift, and they exploited that gift, and look at where they've reached now. Look at the difference, where they were and where they are now. What was that gift? It was black gold. It was crude oil. They had this gift, and they made good use of it. And in this case, we are similar to them. Nepal is similar to Dubai, because we are also placed in a terrible situation by nature, which is on the tectonic plate. But the same tectonic plate has given us a beautiful gift. That is the white gold. We have the white gold, not just one, not just two. We have thousands of them. We have the whole Himalayas for us. To be precise, we have 1,913 mountain peaks above 5,500 meters, 8 of them above 8,000 meters. So we have a great, great potential in tourism in Nepal. I don't have to explain it. Each one of you sitting here knows that we have a great potential in Nepal. As my friend Basha also said, we have a great strength. But why has tourism not reached its potential yet? There are a lot of reasons, but one reason I would like to focus on is we don't have enough manpower working in the tourism sector. Some of them go abroad, some of them start up with something else, but not tourism. We don't have enough manpower in tourism. Now you might ask, what work do we have in tourism? Well, we have a lot of work in tourism. Everyone has a place in tourism. From the first benches to the last benches, everyone has a place in tourism. Let's take the first benches for example. Who sits in the first bench? The hard workers, the good trade, the serious kind of people, right? So, tourism is a place for them because tourism requires investment, money handling, and accounting, decision making, planning, all these serious things, it is there in tourism. So, the first benches, we need you in tourism. But tourism is not only about the serious stuff, it is also about crazy ideas, it is about adventure, it is about adrenaline, it is about creativity. So that is where the last benches come in. I too am a last bencher and I know I have a big place in tourism. So, yes, we are not useless, we have a big place in tourism. So there is a place for everyone in tourism, not just the front benches and the last benches. Even the people who don't go to school, they have a place in tourism. They can contribute in tourism in one way or the other. Now let us get back to the big question here, the main question. why tourism is for everyone in Nepal. You see, tourism is a gift for us. Let me give you one example. Sachin Tendulkar. Everyone here knows Sachin Tendulkar, right? A great cricketer. Why is he so great? Because he had a gift. A gift. And he found that gift and he utilized that gift. He practiced and he practiced and he practiced. He exploited his gift. And look at where he is now. One of the best cricketers in the world. You see, the same way, everyone has a gift. And so does our nation. And tourism is a gift for us. The mountains, the rivers, the hills, all the culture, the language, the handicrafts, everything. It is a gift for us. And we have to exploit this gift to reach somewhere. So, let us exploit our gift. Let us build this country. We are the youth. We are the future. Thank you. Now I would like to call upon Nico for the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank KC and Yogendra sir to give me such an important opportunity to present in NMS. So now, moving on to the further presentation, my friend Sushant, he tried to convince everyone to take tourism as a profession. But I know all of you are not yet convinced, but I am here with another option. What about being an ambassador of tourism? I know ambassador seems to be a big word, but how will you be an ambassador of tourism? I can help you on it. Now, the first one can be a smile can win a heart. Imagine a situation, every one of us are walking in on a street and a group of tourists come there. We see the group of tourists, we can greet them namaste with a smile on our face. When we walk away without greeting them, they won't remember us, but when we greet them, they will remember us. So, the namaste which we greet, that brings an emotional tone in them, a tone of love, respect and care. Whenever we people see, we can greet them namaste with a smile which can change their thinking. A smile, greeting to the tourists. The next one can be promotions on social media. We all know that this is an era of technology. Every one of us love sharings on technology. So, and every people here sitting has different skills in them. One is best on writing, one is best on photography. So they can use the skills of photography and share their experience when they visit different places on Facebook, Instagram and other social networking sites. Whenever we see these photos on any social networking sites, we people can share it and help tourism. Not only this, but I can share my personal experience here. Me, myself, I went to Gandruk. Later, after some days, my friend, she went to Gandruk and she shared some of her photographs on Facebook. When I saw the photographs there, I saw a picture of a frozen waterfall. I got so fascinated with that picture that it forced me to go Gandruk again and see that waterfall. And that time I found myself so lucky and was able to see that waterfall. The next can be travel and be a part of tourism. We all are very fond of traveling, and also this year 2016 is also named as the Kumkam Barsa. So by traveling, fulfilling our desires, enjoying, we people can also help tourism. Also the money which we spend there is used in the benefit and the sustainable lifestyle of the Nepalese people. The next point, these are some of the local people traveling, and the green jacket here itself is Sushant. These are the local people rafting. The next can be, let them be a part of our culture. People, the tourists here comes to see something new and to get something informative. So by giving them something new, we can help them and let them be a part of our tourism. We can show them, we can involve them in our traditions, our festivals, our folk dances, etc. and help them to know Nepal very well. Thank you.
Yeah, your friends, is their tone, not my tone. किनभने अहिले मलाई थाहा छ यो यंगस्टर्सहरूले सबै दोष बुढोहरूलाई दिन्छ यो सबै नेपाल देश बिग्रेको बुढोहरूले यिनीहरूले के पनि गरेन we are suffering because of that, this and that, and if I said that you would say another बुढो coming and telling us. So I thought the young ones presentation would be better. Once again, a big hand for our three presenters. Well, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, you see that tourism is all about stories, you see that tourism is all about human touches. Sometimes we think people come to see Nepal because of Mount Everest or birthplace of Buddha. No, it is that smile that the tourists get by non-concerned people. Hotel people, hotel yo hamro receptionist, good morning sir, good afternoon sir. It doesn't make any impact because they are meant to say that. But if you who are not involved in tourism, somebody you meet in the street, and that's our strength. You ask a tourist why they come back, and they will tell you, it is not because of Mount Everest, it is not because of birthplace of Buddha, it is because of the smile of the people. So even if you are not part of tourism, be with tourism by giving you a free smile. Thank you very much.